Okay, I'm gonna go over what I use on my Mesmer for Istan. Um, I use full Berserker. I have Valkyrie trinkets that I was using on other classes. I like taking this for the extra health, but you can run for full Berserkers and do just fine. Um, for the rune, you can use either Strength. For Might and more power. Since you'll be in a Zerg, you'll always have Might on you, so that's plus 5% damage all the time. And you have a little bit of Might generation yourself that will get increased with the Might duration. And you can also use Rune of... Oh, no. Is it Rebirth? Yeah. You can use this rune. If you don't want to fool with like getting downed, this will just give you a barrier and you just won't die. And it's on a 90-second cooldown, so I mean that's nothing. In Istan, you can pop that, or it'll automatically pop, and you can just run away, and you're good. It's up to you. It doesn't really matter for Istan, the runes, in my opinion. The sigils are important though. For weapons, I use Greatsword, and then on swap axe, focus. I don't have these sigiled properly, but I have the ones you want to use. On the Greatsword, Superior Sigil of Frenzy is good on pretty much every single class, because you will always be tagging tons of mobs, and other people will kill them, so you don't have to worry about anything really. Just hit something, and then that will constantly reduce every single skill that has a cooldown will get reduced, and it's on a 10-second internal cooldown. And the stamina sigil works exactly like it says. Every single time you tag something and it dies, your dodge bar is filled completely up. And last time I checked, which was a couple weeks, but it works even with this debuff on you. You can, like it says, if you break a stun with it, you'll be left exhausted. I tested it. I broke a stun, killed something, and I still had the debuff, and it still filled my dodge bar up all the way. This works the same way it works on the exhaustion for Thief. It will still fill up your bar on Thief as well. So yeah, the reason you want this is because one of the ways you can AoE tag on Mesmer, since it's not its strongest suit, is you dodge to get Mirage Cloak, and then you auto attack with Greatsword, and you can't see it because there's only one mob here, but anything around this will get shotgunned, and it'll also get hit with a beam, but you have to dodge for it to happen. Well, you have to have Mirage Cloak on you for it to happen. So the way it works is you dodge, you tag however many things, and then they die, and then your bar is filled up, and then you just keep dodging over and over and tag stuff. It works really well at Achille, but I think it works best in GH and Palawadon, and then for Achille you want to swap to Axe and Focus. And what I do, if you're lazy, you can just sit in one spot and do the GS spamming. That's fine. What I do is I run around and just auto attack with Axe, and if my 2 skill is up, if I could click off of him, just 2 skill and then auto, keep dodging so you get super speed, and just run around and tag stuff. You will tag stuff that isn't visible with your auto attacks, and get resets if you have the sigil on your axe or your whatever offhand you're using, and just keep spamming it nonstop. This spawns when you dodge. It spawns these dudes, and you can spam your shatters whenever you want. Specifically for Amala, I'd say if you know you're gonna spawn a bunch of shit, save till you get 3 and shatter diversion to CC'er. It's really important that she gets CC'd fast. Just helps get her phased and get to the champs faster, and the faster you get done with the first GH, the faster you can map hop to another one or start looking for one. So time is very important. Like I said, stats are full Berserker. You can kind of use whatever you want, but there's really no reason to not use Berserker. You're in a squad, hopefully with 50 or more people, so you don't have to worry about dying too much. For traits, I take Domination, Illusions, and Mirage. The way I have it set up, you really don't have to do anything special to tag champions, but the way I have it set up is I take Domination mostly for CC and the Greatsword reduction on skills. You take this to inflict stun whenever you daze. You daze with all kinds of stuff. Your shatter, this mantra. You can swap other stuff out. Daze, Plies Vuln. Take this. You'll interrupt tons of stuff, and you'll just get quickness randomly. And I take this for the reduction on greatsword skills, and it will spawn another illusion. And that's good because we take illusions because we want to buff our phantasms as much as possible, because they are a really good source of personal DPS. Well, spawning them buffs our DPS, and then they do a ton of damage themselves. And there's really nothing else to take here that's useful in Istan, so we just buff our single target, and then we're fine. This turns the Shatter to an ammo skill, so you get more than one use. No, it doesn't. This does. I'm stupid. This just buffs your damage whenever you create an illusion. This is what I was talking about. When we spawn a phantasm, it gives us quickness, and they spawn with quickness, so they deal their damage faster, so we get hits in and damage in for tags, and we just do more damage. So it affects phantasms, and illusions are different. Phantasms will say specifically phantasm, even though this is a greatsword skill, it's considered a phantasm, so they won't show up for your illusions, but they do more damage, and they will get and give you quickness. So these are all illusions, and phantasms. And this heal skill will reset the cooldown on all of these. So if there's a couple champs up, you pop your Greatsword 4, your 2 utilities, hit this, and then you can swap targets and then do it all over again and do a ton of damage and get more than enough damage to get a tag in for credit. This is just might generation, and phantasms deal more damage, so it's kind of a no-brainer. These aren't really that good. Now Mirage is not that great for power, but we take it because it gives us more to use than Chrono, in my opinion. You just take this for a small region, and it reduces conditions on you when you while you're regenerating, so that's actually really good. It's not just your region, it's other regions. Shatter skills give vigor. There's nothing wrong with that. Very useful. You reset your dodges anyway, but it doesn't hurt you. This just reduces the cooldown on X skills, so at Achille you'll be able to spam more stuff. This is just super speed. You'll be spamming Mirage Cloak, so you'll have it up a ton. And this is, there's really nothing. You could take this at Achille, because you're going to be running around in melee anyway. But, it's up to you if you want to swap. I just take this, so if I get stunned, I can just dodge. I'm out of it, I'm fine, and it removes conditions, so, I would recommend swapping it, but you really don't have to at Achille for this. Let's see, let me go over skills. Like I said, this is just a reset for your phantasm skills. Use it whenever. Make sure you use all of your phantasm skills, and then use this. Because this does a lot of damage, because there will be tons of stuff flying around, and it will block and get to the max stack, and then it'll blow up and do a ton. This just sends out a phantasm, and we're traded, so it sends out 2. And this is just the only other Phantasm skill worth taking. This is a mantra, so you channel it, and then you get 2 uses, and it will daze a target, so it's just CC. You could swap this out to something you want, maybe Blink or one of these skills. I'm not particularly good at Mesmer, so I don't really know what would be better than this. I just take it for the CC, like I said. Let's see. For this, it's up to you. I would take this for a Mala. It does, I think it's 1,000 CC damage, but it might be 600. I'd have to check the wiki. But it does a ton. And you always sort of need CC at a Mala because people are slow to use theirs, or it's on cooldown. If you want to, you could take Time Warp for more damage wherever, preferably at a Mala. Also, you could take it at Ibiru. You don't need CC at Ibiru as much. People are pretty good at that. So I take Time Warp. Let's see. I think I went over everything. Went over the runes, the sigils. Make sure you're using EXP and MF food. There's others, but this is what I use. Yeah, I think that's it.